Well, welcome to our community. Susie Thomas with you this morning. So happy to welcome Deanne Williams. She is the Executive Director of the Stark County Veterans Service Commission. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you this morning?
I'm well, and I'm so happy that you could join us and wanting to know a little bit more about the Stark County Veterans Services Commission. Is this different than other veterans organizations?
Actually, it is. What's really unique about us is that we were actually founded in 1886.
Wow.
Yeah. Listening to your response to us, the exact same response we get from all the veterans in our community. We were originally founded by Ohio Revised Code back in, like I said, 1886. Mm-hmm. And the sole purpose of our foundation was to help that man who had borne some type of a financial hardship due to lack of employment or illness.
So this has been going on just after Civil War.
Yes, ma'am.
Really? And locally or nationally?
So every county in Ohio has a Veteran Service Commission. We were called the Soldiers and Sailors Relief Commission.
Okay.
And then about 100 years later, that's when they renamed us the Veteran Service Commission. But every single county in Ohio has a Veteran Service Commission. That's what makes Ohio unique.
Nice. Well, don't we owe them so much? Will we ever stop saying thank you? I don't think we can. And particularly when someone has been willing to risk the ultimate to keep us safe. Personally, I don't know why they have to pay income tax any day of their life. But to think that there is any kind of a financial hardship because of illness or injury during their war service, how wonderful that you are there.
Absolutely. And, just to think about it, that they had the fortitude to know that we needed to take care of our men who were serving our country. Mm-hmm. And we've been able to keep that ever since. And we've been doing that for over 100 years.
Yes.
And we continue to do that today. And not only do we still maintain that pillar of service that we were founded on, but we also have other pillars of services that we provide to our veterans, as well as their family members. Well, not family members per se, but their dependents.
What are the services that you provide?
So we still have our financial assistance program, but we also have a service department of which we are able to assist our veterans and their dependents with ascertaining benefits from the Department of Veterans Affairs, the state of Ohio, as well as some local benefits that they may be entitled to based on their service to our country, or their surviving spouses may be entitled to based on their loved one's service to our country. And then we also have a medical transportation program where we're able to transport our veterans to and from VA medical appointments.
Mm. Now, how would one go about taking advantage of all these services? Because this will be awesome news to some people. Have they perhaps not heard of you?
Sure. All they got to do is contact us. Okay. What is really interesting to me is I, being a veteran as well, can tell you when I came home from the military, I did not know about our services. Mm-hmm. And at that point, we were over 100 years old, and I'm thinking, how can you be around that long and no one knows about you?
Now, and that's what I wonder, Deanne. Why is this information not shared with the military people? Like, while you're serving, here's a lot of perks. And I would think even recruiting, mm-hmm. letting people know right from the get-go before they sign up. Here are some ways that we take care of you and ways we say thank you after your tour is done.
Sure. And, Ohio does a really good job with their veterans. We are the 6th largest veteran populated state in the United States.
Wow.
And we have the Ohio Department of Veteran Services that really does reach out to all of the branches. When a service member is released from active duty, one of their copies of their discharges goes to the Ohio Department of Veteran Services. They then send them a letter and say, hey, this is your county veteran service office. You should get in touch with them when you get back home. And here are some other resources for you, in which they have a very well-populated website of resources and even links to all of the county veteran service offices. So they really do a really good job. Ohio does lead from the front in taking care of their veterans. And so although it's not known to every veteran, we are doing a lot to let them know. And like I said, when I came off of active duty, I didn't know about the services here in Stark County. And it was a long path for me. And I finally found out what a Veteran Service Commission does, doing the work that I do. And I worked in other counties. And I came back here to Stark County, and I had the blessed opportunity to become the executive director.
Nice.
And I took the helm about 3 years ago, actually, January of 2017. And my goal is I will not retire till every veteran in Stark County knows we exist. And I will tell you, today we have 25,151 veterans in Stark County.
In Stark County alone.
We are the 6th largest veteran populated county in Ohio. And we have not seen that many veterans in my office.
Trying to get my head wrapped around that, yes.
Yeah. Our office, we've done a lot of transition over the last 3 years, and part of that transition is an aggressive outreach program. I have challenged the teams to make a boot print in the community. We want to have that boot print. We want those veterans and their families to know there are benefits that they are entitled to. Some benefits have statute of limitations. They expire. Some benefits don't. A lot of benefits are just unknown. And, certainly I'll advise of all those benefits, but what I really want to advise of is if you served our country, regardless if you think you're a veteran or not, because a lot of people don't think that they're a veteran.
Now, wait a minute. How can you have served the country and not know you're a veteran?
Oh, with all due respect, some of my comrades feel I wasn't in a war. I wasn't in theater. I served in the States. Some of our females that served back in the Vietnam era or the World War II era, they think I'm not a veteran. I came in under the WAC program or the WAVE program. I'm not a veteran. They are veterans. And so they went all this time not thinking that they were a veteran. And some, again, a lot of our comrades that feel I wasn't in theater of combat operations, so therefore I don't have veteran status, and that's simply not true.
Right.
And so we want them to know, hey, come to our office. Let's do a benefits counseling. Bring your discharge. If you don't have your discharge, it's okay. We will help you ascertain that document. Let us sit down. We can look at your discharge and we can tell you, based on just a review of that discharge, what benefits you're entitled to. Sure, you may not have served during a wartime period, but there are benefits to that. If you did serve during a wartime period and you didn't go into theater of combat of operations, it's okay. There's actually pensions available. People don't know about that just based on your service. So I like to tell everybody, I invite them, contact our office, come in, do a benefits counseling. Let's talk about that. Even if you don't feel you need anything today, what about tomorrow? Just come in and let's talk about those benefits. Let's talk about burial benefits. Let's talk about survivors' benefits. Let's talk about those things. What about estate planning? You need to understand what's available to you so you can plan for those times that you may, your family knows what your wishes and desires are. There's national cemeteries that we have here in Ohio.
Yes.
Do you want to go buried do you want to get buried at a national cemetery?
Or just that beautiful star that they'll put beside different memorial stones.
We have those in our office.
Oh, my goodness.
We provide those to our family members of our fallen, our fallen troops here in our office.
So it is amazing. And I'm sure this comes as a very pleasant surprise for people who have not heard of the benefits that they are entitled to, and really quite a blessing to find out that there is help. There's financial help and other kinds of help.
Well, one of the things that we're really particular about in our office is we don't like to use that word help. We like to serve our veterans.
Thank you for correcting me.
And I say that
there are services.
That's right. They are services. When our men and women raise their hand to serve our country, these are entitlements that they're offered because of that service to our country. They've already paid the price for the services that we're providing.
Yes.
We don't help. We serve. And that's what we do in Stark County. And, that's one of the things we keep in the forefront when we provide our services. And one of the very unique things about our offices, if you would as well, is that when you come in the door, you're with family or you're with veterans. To work in our office, you have to be a veteran. And there's certain positions that we are able to bring family members on board instead of veterans. So to be there, you have to either be a veteran or a parent, spouse, or child of a veteran.
Because we need to realize the families have made a sacrifice as well.
Absolutely.
And what a nice way to recognize that.
Absolutely.
You've been growing in that office.
We have been
Tell us a little bit about that.
So, I talk about how, we've changed a lot actually in the last 3 years. We've refocused. We've looked at what is the demands of the community, what are the needs of our community, how can we assist those veterans in various ways that they're just not getting those services anywhere else. And in order to do that, we've grown. We've grown our service department. We've been able to really grow our services in our financial department, where we're assisting in financial assistance. We've grown in our medical transportation. We've actually we started with 12 staff when I was there. We've realigned into departments. We've realigned into teams. And now we have about, I think, 25 staff members that are on board. Some are part-time, but for the most part, it's just really been amazing. And we are currently under construction because we're getting 10 new offices. We've had people doubled up, 2 and 3 people in an office. And one of the great things about it is that we're doing a lot more with a lot less. And so, we're still maintaining within our budget, but we're reallocating our resources. And a part of that is from the sole mission of empowerment. We have really been doing a lot of empowerment for our clients that come into our office. We are providing subject matter experts through our service department. All of our service officers are state accredited and nationally accredited for the most part. We have a lot of them that just got nationally accredited, and some are on the horizon this year to get accredited nationally. They are certified with the VA to be able to advocate, and that's the thing. We are not the VA.
We want to make that distinction.
Yes. We are advocates for the veteran and their families. We advocate on behalf of our comrades. We are the ones that are making sure that veteran gets the benefits they're entitled to.
Yes.
We don't adjudicate the claims. We advocate those claims. So we are not the VA. We don't charge for our services. Everything we do from the time you come into that door is at no cost. Even through our finance program, those monies aren't repaid. Like I said, when we raised our hand to serve our country, that's when you paid that price.
Where do we find you located?
We're located at 2955 Wise Avenue Northwest here in Canton.
And the new construction is an addition that's going on there?
Is.
You're not moving.
It is an addition, and we're really excited about that because we just relocated there July of 2016. So in 2016, we relocated there from downtown, and people are just now finding out where we're at. So we don't want to relocate again.
No, don't move again.
And we don't want to move again. And, that building is property with the Stark County Commissioners. And so I went to the commissioners, and I was like, listen, we're growing. Our clientele is just reaching record numbers.
Nice.
And because of those record numbers, we are able to substantiate that growth in what we do. Just this year in 2019, in our service department, and this is a department where we are actually locking our veterans and their family members in with benefits, we had over 10,000 appointments.
Wow.
Just this last year. And that's from an aggressive outreach program, from getting our name out there, letting people know, come by, let us talk. With our finance department, we had over 4,000 appointments. With our transportation program, we had almost 3,000 appointments. That's 3,000 veterans that got to and from VA appointments with our services. So, we grew a lot, this last year. And so we were able to get with the county commissioners, and they were like, they saw our need, they agreed, and so they approved this renovation that we're doing right now. And it's so exciting because before we couldn't even fit in our own cafeteria as a staff. If we had training or a meeting, we had people in the hallways. We could not fit in the same room. We had fans going because it was so hot, trying to do a meeting because there were so many people, and it was just really, really challenging. But we had to show the need, and we were able to substantiate that, which is a great thing because that means we're connecting with our veterans in the community and their families. And so this construction is going to bring us 10 new offices. And right now I have an office with 4 people in it. It's crazy. And it's also an inconvenience because of privacy. When someone brings in a client, 3 people have to leave. So it's just, it's problematic logistically as well. But when the renovations are done, we're going to be able to have these offices opened. We're going to have a new conference room. And guess what? every staff member will be able to sit at the table. That is exciting, as minimal as that sounds, but that is exciting
And
for
it's
us.
important.
It is important. We want everyone to be in a part of that team.
We're talking about the Stark County Veterans Service Commission. And website, please, Deanne. Where can we find out more?
Oh, absolutely. Our website is www.starkcountyohio.gov/veterans.
We're going to be back with Deanne after these words. You're listening to Our Community. Well, welcome back to Our Community. Susie Thomas visiting with Deanne Williams. She's from Stark County Veterans Service Commission, not the VA. We want to make that distinction. And so that let's get back a little bit about your founding. We're going back to the 1880s and the purpose and the pillars that you really are built upon.
Absolutely. So, like I said, we still do have our foundation pillar, which is our financial assistance program. And one of the things about our financial assistance program is that we do assist with those basic living needs, the rent, the mortgage, utilities, food, personal hygiene. We started a clothing program that we offer for our children of our veterans. And the clothing program, we run it 3 times a year. We do a fall, a winter, and a spring clothing program. It is really nice to be able to provide that to them.
Now, let me interrupt you just for 1 second. Do these services serve the families while someone is serving, or is it after they return and then they're a veteran? Is it while they're on active duty that it still is assisting the families?
Absolutely. If they're still on active duty, they're eligible for our services as well. If indeed that they are a veteran, they had to have served on active duty for other than training purposes. And this is all defined by Title 59 of the Ohio Revised Code. That is what governs our office. So our financial assistance program, you must be a veteran of Stark County to receive our assistance. Not only do you have to be a veteran and had to have served under honorable conditions for other than training purposes. If indeed that you had only served on training and you received an injury or a disability that's recognized by the Department of Veterans Affairs or by the Department of Defense, that would make you eligible for our services as well.
Great.
But there's one more thing to that, is that you must be a resident of Stark County for 90 days.
Okay, 3 months.
3 months to establish that residency.
Okay.
Now, one of the things that we see, Susie, is we have veterans that will come from surrounding counties or even counties throughout Ohio, and they haven't established that 90 days yet.
Okay.
And by law, we can't give them any of our services. However, we will work with that other county to be able to assist them as much as we can.
My
and if
very next question, yes,
Yeah, and
is
if
there something like you in Tuscarawas County or
there
Holmes
absolutely
County?
is. And we
Yes.
would reach out to them and say, hey, we have a veteran that doesn't have our residency yet. What can we do to assist them in making their application with you?
Great.
And see how we can make that. Now, and if one of our veterans goes and leaves and goes somewhere else for 90 days, we certainly assist them for those 90 days as well until they establish that residency.
So financial is one of the pillars.
Yeah,
What's the
and that's
second one?
exciting. Well, I want to touch base on the finance just for a couple other programs because I
Okay.
think these are really important and these are really significant to what we do. And I talked about that empowerment. And this is where we've really grown that program because I am a person that loves to empower people. I love to watch people succeed. And so I'm also a what else person. So what we've done with that finance program is we actually, every client that comes in the program sits down with a finance case specialist. And that finance case specialist will come up with an individualized plan. We will say, what is the barrier? Why are we here? Is it because of lack of employment? Is it because of an injury, a disability? Is it because of an emergency that occurred, an unforeseen emergency financially? Or is it because you're just not living within your means? And we have different avenues that we would take based on that assessment. We have a workforce development specialist that's on board that will then, if it's a work issue, we will have this individual sit with them, help resume build, help prepare that resume, help prepare them for interviews. We'll do mock interviews. We will get them ready. We will show them how to fill out applications, how to translate those military skills to civilian language
Certainly.
so that they understand that. And so we provide that service. We also have incorporated Dave Ramsey budgeting program into our organization, and we have Dave going through our lobby.
Great.
And so we have the different snowball debt, the envelope system, and we introduce this to those clients, whichever works best for them. And then we also, at that point, we talk about disabilities. If there's a disability that occurred in the military, we set them up with our service department. If it's a Social Security issue, we set them up over there. We do soft handoffs. We have a lot of community partners. I can't even tell you how many. We would need a whole nother segment for me to tell you all the sponsorships and all the stakeholders and all the partnerships we have, because that is important to us. And we do soft handoffs with them. So we also help with addiction and recovery services. And we have beds that we sponsor in the community for our veterans to be able to have inpatient treatment through this program. So we do a lot of that. We also look at, what about our homeless veterans? That's huge for us. You know, we want to take care of our homeless veterans. So we partner with Refuge of Hope to be able to make sure that our veterans are being taken care of. Understanding that as a male facility, we also reach out to some of our other partners for female veterans. We are currently working with another organization, and very soon we're going to be opening up 3 transitional housing. Well, they're going to be opening up 3 transitional housings here in Stark County. I'm talking about like within a week.
Jan, there's just 2 words that should not go together: homeless and veteran.
Yeah.
It just shouldn't be.
You know, I hear you. And I'll tell you what, Susie, when I first got here, that was one of the things that really tugged at me. And we had a situation where we had a veteran. He was just came back from Afghanistan and had went through a very devastating divorce, and very costly, with attorney fees and, you know, just child support and just so much. And he found himself homeless. And I found out about him, and when I found out about him, I'm like, well, this is unsatisfactory. I mean, this is unsaid. How do we have a combat veteran sleeping in a truck outside of his place of employment? That is unsat. And so we ended up coming up with a program called Operation Homebound, and I'm so excited about this. This program is a spin-off of a program that the VA does offer, and it's a HUD-VASH program. But unfortunately, there's not a lot of HUD-VASH vouchers to go around in Stark County. And so I can't create more vouchers, but I can create something to help our veterans. And Operation Homebound is specific to Stark County. And what that is if you are indeed homeless or if you are in need of permanent housing, if you don't have a place to call home, if you're couch surfing, that's homeless. Right. We will take, and if you have monies coming in, if you have disability, if you have retirement, if you have pension, we will set you up where we will take care of that security deposit, and we will pay 70% of that rent for a 9-month period. And throughout that 9-month period, we will work with you hand in hand and trying to overcome the barriers that created that burden of homelessness.
Wow, that's wonderful.
And hopefully set that individual up for success. And I will tell you, when we started that started in 2017 to 2018, there were 48 veterans that we had in that program that were no longer homeless because of Operation Homebound. And here in 2019, 27 veterans were not homeless here in Stark County because of that.
Oh, that's fantastic.
It is fantastic, Susie. But, you know, we also understand that not every veteran is ready for the responsibilities of permanent housing. And so this is where we take and we give them those tools through other means. This is where we do assist with that addiction and recovery piece. We do assist with that job employment piece. So we identify those barriers. So until they're ready for Operation Homebound, we do use transitional housing, Refuge of Hope, and things of that nature to get them where they're ready. Because I don't believe in setting people up for success or for failure either.
Exactly.
We definitely want to be successful.
So that is all under one pillar.
Yeah, and guess what? There's one more program.
Oh my goodness.
And there's more.
Yes. Okay.
So the VA does not really offer dental to a lot of our veterans. If you're not service connected for a dental condition, if you're not 100% service connected for with the VA, or if you are not receiving pension from the VA, you're not going to get dental with the VA. And we recognize that, and we know that dental is important.
Yes, it is.
So we have partnered with the Stark County Dental Society a couple of years ago, and actually a few years ago, and we provide dental care to our veterans here in Stark County. And what's really great about this program is that when we assess that veteran and we authorize that treatment, that veteran can then go to an upward of 35 dentists in Stark County to get that work done, because they are all a part of this program. And when we pay those costs for the treatment for that, we only pay 50% of the cost, and it goes into the Stark County Dental Society, of which they pay it forward into the community. So that's pretty
Tremendous.
exciting.
Tremendously exciting.
And I have to tell you, there's more. We are also partnering now with the Stark State to provide dental cleanings for our veterans and their families, because we don't do the dental cleanings with the dental program. That's major work, root canals, dentures. And so now we are going to be able to do that.
And give some students some good practice at the same time.
Absolutely. And they get to serve our veterans by assisting them.
Nice. Very
Absolutely.
nice. Are there more pillars? Because we want to talk about a special day coming up in March, and we've got a special event happening that we don't want to miss. So.
Absolutely. So just real fast, we do have a medical transportation program that we provide our veterans with. We partner with SARTA, and we have a bus that goes to Cleveland up to Lewis Stokes Wade Park 3 times a day. And so we do provide that. And not only do we allow our veteran to get on that bus and go up to Wade Park worry-free, we also provide a ticket for a caregiver to go with them. And we have a driver that will literally pick up our veterans in our transit van that is actually handicap accessible. It has a smart floor. We can put up to 3 wheelchairs in the back of that vehicle, pick up our veterans at the front door, and take them up to any VA medical appointment. Mostly we go up to the clinic up in Parma. We go to the clinic in Akron. And so we're able to provide those services outside of our county with that itself. Our other big, huge service department is our third pillar of service. This is where we have those accredited, certified advocates that go out there and really connect our veterans with the benefits that they're entitled to. And we're talking service-connected disabilities, pension for our wartime veterans, survivors benefits, burial benefits, home loan guarantees, education, connecting with medical. There's just so many benefits there. And I will tell you, that is the one that changes lives as well. You know, our finance department does make those temporary differences in their lives and set people up for success. But that service department just changes lives. You know, there's so much that we do in that department. And so, you know, that's definitely that one. That's where a lot of people don't know the benefits they're entitled to.
Incredible. All of this must take some funding. Deanne?
It does take funding.
You've got an event coming up. Let's hear about it.
So this new event that we have coming up, and this is where our outreach team has really been reaching out to the community, and we've been doing a lot of events in the community. Back on Labor Day, we ended up doing a event for our Vietnam veterans, and we recognized our Vietnam veterans and thanked them for their service at our Veterans Day at our Stark County Fair. And based on that, we had an upward of 500 people there, Susie. I started getting thank yous back from these Vietnam veterans, and I started getting calls from them saying, thank you so much. And it ended up that if I would have known, I would have showed up. And I said, I can't change yesterday, but you know what? I can do tomorrow. So on March 29th, 2020, we are doing a Vietnam War Veterans Day ceremony. It is going to allow us to thank our Vietnam veterans for their service, and more importantly, welcome them home. And it is going to take place at the Washington High School from 1 to 3 o'clock. And we are certainly wanting to get our Vietnam veterans to contact our office, contact Teresa White, who is the outreach coordinator. Let us know you're coming, because we have so many special things planned for that event.
Awesome.
And Teresa's phone number is 330-451-7479, and let her know that you're interested in coming. And in order to do that, we do have a special charity event that's coming up. That is going to take place on February 14th, 2020 at the Royal Docks Canary. This is going to be hosted a charity event by ArtShare Dare, and it's to raise money for that ceremony that we are hosting. And this event will have an evening full of fun, a silent auction selection of photography from around the world. The tickets are $20. It includes the cost of food. All the 100% of the proceeds are going to be donated to charity. And for more information or even to purchase those tickets to help us out, you can go to www.oneearthstudios.com.
Let's give that one more time.
www.oneearthstudios.com.
Wonderful. And tell us again the website for the Veteran Service Commission, Deanne.
That is www.starkcountyohio.gov/veterans.
It's the Stark County Veteran Service Commission. Deanne Williams, thank you so much for all you do in our community.
Thank you for having us, Susie.